Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Desperate House Witches. Desperate House Witches is not a G, CG, or even an R-rated show, so if bad language, bodily function, dirty talk of any kind might upset you, it's not the show for you, but that's why you tune in. By the way, I'm ready to start so you don't have to be. Desperate House Witches is brought to you by the amazingly wicked one herself, the incredible Dorothy Morrison. Please check out the social media page for Wicked Witch Studios. There is an amazing sale happening. The coffins, yes, the sugar skull coffins are still for sale, along with the amazing limited edition candles. We still have some going around. Go get them. As the cauldron bubbles, paint happening, spirited discourse, all the good ones. Well, they're all good ones. You know that. So please check out www.wickedwitchstudios.com for all of your witching needs. Tell Dorothy Raina sent you. Okay. It's going to be a good one today because I have the amazing Opal Luna, author of My Brain Just Went Blank, Fiber Magick.
Fiber Magick.
Fiber Magick. Raina just lost her fucking mind. Oh, my God. I do not have COVID. Anyone who listened last week and was like, does this crazy-ass bitch have COVID? No, I do not. However, 2 years old in the 2.5 weeks, so I have age. That's what I have. So there you go.
2.5 weeks? What day?
Well, actually the 20th. It's actually 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today? Something like that. Yeah, the 20th of October. Is... Yay! Okay, I knew you were a Libra, but we knew this already, didn't we? Did we talk about this?
I think so.
Really talked about this.
10-10. 10-10. That's me.
10-10. 10-10 wins. Like in New York, you remember? It's like 1 million years old. AM radio, y'all. Back in the day when AM radio was still a thing. Before Sirius XM happened. Before podcasting happened. Holy shit, before home computers happened. Opal, tell them. They don't know. The children don't know.
They don't know. Waiting for Wolfman Jack to play that song.
Got that right, girl. Or Casey Kasem, one of the two. Wolfman Jack, Midnight Special. All right.
Oh, I love that. I love that show. Let the Midnight Special.
Special. Satisfied on me. Oh, yeah, honey. And after that was Don Kirshner's In Concert.
Yes. Oh, man, you could stay up Friday night, Saturday night. Oh, I remember one time, this is like before I knew how magical I was, okay? So we were watching In Concert or one of those, and David Bowie was on. And he was dressed in that snake skin, one-piece tight thing, and we were all, like, mesmerized, and we were like, going back and forth, you know, and he was, like, charming us, and all of a sudden one of the girls was like a sleepover, right? One of the girls screams, a snake, a silver snake that looked just like him had gotten into the house. Freaked out. We actually drew a snake, a real snake, into the house watching David Bowie.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. I think I would have freaked out, too, at the time because we were pretty young back then. I think that was 1972. I think that episode was. I remember it. I fell in love with him, like, instantly. But anyway.
Okay.
So that was a great trip down memory lane. Back to business. Okay. So, Opal, you've got a lot going on. So you're really active. So tell the folks what you've been working on as far as the Fiber Magick Academy, because I did not know there was an academy. Tell me about the academy.
It just happened. I'm so proud of myself. Now, after that story, I did not grow up with computers, right? There was no such thing. Right, so I'm self-taught in the techno-mage world, So I built my own website quite a while ago, fibermagick.com. And as new things happen, I take the tutorial and I add pieces. And so this piece happened to be an online course. You could put an online course on your website. So I just very slowly did it step by step. I took pieces. I had a lot of materials from workshops and things that I had done. I put it all together into an online course that teaches you what is Fiber Magick, the basics of knot magic and energy work, the basic crochet stitches and how to use them in your magical practice, and then embellish them with all the colors and textures and herbs and oils. And then it's got 2 patterns that use all the basic stitches, which I have assigned elements to. So earth, air, fire, and water are contained in the elemental pouch and in the goddess Flutterby, a little butterfly-shaped poppet. So the patterns are there, and a video of me actually doing it, so you could do it along with me, and some bonus materials that I'll keep adding to. And when you go to my website, it says Fiber Magick Academy, you click on it, there is a one-time cost of $49, and then you are in forever. And if I add to it to get more, there's a group attached to it so you can ask questions, and that's just going to be my own little private Fiber Magician school. That will be our Fiber Magick Academy.
Wow.
Cool, huh?
That's exciting.
It is.
I mean,
so I just launched it just a couple of days ago, and I'm promoting it now. And it was so fortuitous that I'm going to be talking to you today, because then people could check it out,
Oh, my gosh. That's really cool. So it's a one-time fee, and that's it forever?
That's it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a deal.
One-time fee, and you're
deal.
in forever. You can keep all the, you can download it. And even, I even included the original manuscript of Fiber Magick. It's only 60 pages. My original work that I then used to do my self-published little bigger book, and then my fantastic Llewellyn book. So it's just the basics. It's got like a lot of my anecdotes and poetry and stuff that Llewellyn didn't want in there.
That's a good thing for us to talk about, though, because I am curious. Because back in the old days, before crafting became what it is today, because crafting's a pretty big thing now. But back in the old days of witchcraft, we really didn't talk that much about magic and crafting. So was that a hard sell to get Llewellyn to get on board with that?
It was not a hard sell, because they actually came to me, because I had already published the self-published book. I was at Mystic South, the first time I was at Mystic South, and I was selling my little self-published book, and Heather Green came up to my table and said, we want Fiber Magick. And so I said, well, I was planning on pitching you the idea at 2:00 today. Here's all my materials, and she just took them. And she said, you'll hear from us. Because they could see. I mean, they worked in trends. They work in trends, and they know the trends before they happen. So they were looking for something like that. And there I was, just standing there. So that was good. Now, they want it to be like magical, you know, so like the poetry and anecdotes and this and that wasn't really their thing. They wanted, how do we do this, you know, how to, you know. So the book, the Fiber Magick book is really for beginners of crochet, beginners of magic and how to put it together, but it's a good foundation to then go crazy with it, you know, if you want to. And I will, in time, do a second online course that will be advanced, you know, the poppets and sigils and things like that, you know. But for right now, I'm just having fun showing everybody that it's possible to do it. Now, yeah.
And I'm not a particularly crafty person, but I still learned a lot from the book about colors and, you know, a few different types of spells that I put together. Absolutely. So it's not like Fiber Magick is certainly not just a book for crocheters or knitters. It's definitely a materials book, and it's definitely a witchcraft book in addition to being a crafting book. It's definitely magical. And again, you don't have to be a crocheter to get something out of the book at all. So I just want to encourage folks who may be listening thinking that you have to knit or crochet. There's other spells. There's other magic to be done with fiber. You want to expand on that a little bit there? Yep.
You can weave.
It's my favorite.
You know, and I also you know, suggest that the same principles could be applied to pottery or photography. On Facebook, we have a group called the Fiber Magick Craft Coven, and it's all crafts. Anytime you're working with your hands, your energy is going to get into what you're doing. So the principles of Fiber Magick just tell you, be intentional about it, you know, and know what you're putting into your work. And it could be anything. It could be anything. And when you really break it down to the very fibers things are made of, pottery is earth and water and fire. You know, it's very magical. Even a wordsmith that puts words together to create poetry is taking elements and weaving them. We use those same terms in crafting and magic, weaving a spell and, you know, tying knots and things like that, you know. It goes hand in hand. It really does.
It's very true. And oftentimes I did not think about it that way until started reading Fiber Magick, because it was very enlightening as far as, you know, because I don't consider myself a crafty person. I'm surrounded by talented crafty people, but I myself am not necessarily a crafty type person, but I really enjoy it. And those of us who don't necessarily engage in, who necessarily engage in doing crafts, I just want to also encourage folks to support those who do. Buy goods. I'm big on promoting pagan businesses. It's very important that we support pagan businesses so that they can survive, because we keep saying we want them. We got to pay for it to have it around. So please, when you can, support small, support local if you can, support pagan, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank
that
you.
Was my commercial. Oh, of course.
And
so,
my turn on the soapbox. Yes.
Yes.
You know, I try to make my price affordable, you know, without costing me, you know, and because I really want to get things into people's hands when they look at something that I made and they want it so bad, you know, that feels great. Yeah. And everything that I make, even if it's not intended as a magical tool, it does possess my energy, and it can be used as a poppet. You know, most of the things, like a friend had bought a unicorn and he puts it by his door because it makes him smile when he walks in the door. And I said, well, good, it's doing its job. So once in a while I think about that unicorn, and I send it a little zhuzh of long-distance healing because I know that it's going to have to make him smile when he walks in the door. And so I like to say that when you buy something with me, it comes with a maintenance plan. And I will recharge it. No extra cost.
That's very sweet. That's such a sweet thing, though. And you're a lovely person. Anyone who's not had the pleasure of meeting this lady really is so sweet and so kind and very generous. And this is why we all love you so much, because you're just awesome. So
let's talk about Wendy Mata.
Let's talk about
next on my list. I'm going chronologically here. So, the Academy is already launched, so you can go buy that right now. But on November 2nd, I'm going to be a speaker on the Ancestral Connections, Ancestral Magic Summit by Wendy Mata and the Bruja Coven. Oh, Bruja Power Coven is so awesome. And so when you go to my website, right on the first page, there'll be an affiliate link that you can get there and sign up so you don't miss anything. And it's all about.
Where is that going to be?
It's online. It's virtual. So wherever you are, you can sign up. And it's November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And I mean the speakers that are going to be on there, besides yours truly, me. There's going to be Elohim Lahar and looking Kobe Michael is there.
Wow.
And many. There's nine talks every day. Lilith Dorsey, and I mean, unbelievable. And it's all about shadow work, gratitude, and your ancestors, healing and connecting with your ancestors.
Yeah, I gotta say, I met Wendy Mata at Mystic South this past year, and she is amazing. She's probably one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. This woman glows from within. She's just incredible. She's an incredible teacher. She's an amazing storyteller. I had her on both episodes at Mystic South on Desperate House Witches, and she was just illuminating and inspirational. And then I went to one of her classes, and that was life-altering. If you get a chance to hear this woman, listen to her. She taught me about, she talked a lot about ancestral veneration, ancestral connection, and I had asked her about what if your ancestors basically didn't treat you very well, and she said the most brilliant thing to me, which never occurred to me, and it was, you can ask for reparations. You can ask for financial reparations. She's like, you are entitled to that. And I went, excuse me? I can?
Right?
And she's like, oh, absolutely. And through a series of things, it's been interesting. I will tell you, I haven't won the lottery or anything, but some interesting things have happened to me. And I would not have thought to ask had it not been for her saying that to me, because I did exactly what she had said to do, and I made a request. And lo and behold, the universe conspired to make certain things happen. Again, I didn't win the lottery or anything like that, but The stress in my life has been greatly reduced. I'll say that much about it, because every journey is different. But yeah, no, she's brilliant. If you get a chance to attend the summit,
she will speak. She'll be speaking twice during the summit. Journey through the generational web, healing and understanding ancestral timelines is what she's going to talk about. I'm going to be doing crafting your heritage, hands-on artistry for cultural connection. I've always thought that, you know, once upon a time everything was handmade. So whether, your crafty gene is dormant or not, you have crafters in your ancestors. Had to be, or they would have froze to death, because they had to make their own blankets and their own clothes. So when you're doing something, which I call like a meditative crafting, like weaving or cross stitch or something, you can get into that mindset and connect with your ancestral spirits, either known ancestors, unknown, past life ancestors, just spirit guides. You can get connected that way with that monotonous repetition, because what were they doing when they were doing this because they had to? They were talking, they were dreaming, they were thinking, singing. So all that energy was focused on this repetitive motion. And once you start doing that repetitive motion, you're going to get into that mindset. Turn off the television and, or whatever, put the phone down and just get into that repetitive motion and connect to your ancestors. It's beautiful. And you can actually find what you gravitate towards. You could find your roots. You could find your at least spiritual roots and find a spiritual path that way, because various places in the world had different crafts, So I'm going to talk about all that, and then I'm going to demonstrate some Norse crafting, nail binding, and the lucette for cord making. So this will be fun. Fun.
I love cord making. I love cord making. Cord making for me is one of my most favorite things. But I love the idea of crafting as meditative practice too, because someone like me who just, I cannot do the sit there and quiet your mind thing. But when you're crafting and you're doing repetitive motion, I think it's easier, isn't it, to like get into a meditative state through crafting?
Yes, the time will go by. It's very hard to just sit there and be still for 5 minutes. But if you start working on something, a half hour, an hour goes by, and you look up and like, oh, where did the time go? And your mind was still all that time, just focused on what you were doing.
I find that
a great way to meditate.
Great way to meditate. If you're like me and you have trouble, forget about I can't even shut up, much less keep my brain still. So, anything that's repetitive like that is super helpful if you're like me and your brain is constantly in motion. But
do you use lucette to make your cords, the fork, and do it on the fork?
I don't.
It's like no? It's a tool that looks like a fork with only 2 tines, and in ancient Norse or in Norse the Norse language, it's called a snorgaffel. But in French, it's called snorgaffel. So you can tell people, I can't go out tonight, I'm snorgaffeling. No, but in French, it's called lucette.
Well, that's easier. So are you going to be? You're going to be teaching that, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to be doing an hour class for the regular summit. I'll be on the second day on November 2nd at 11 o'clock. And so you can watch live, but if you use the link and sign up, you can watch any of them like later if you're working or whatever. You can watch them all weekend, and then if you upgrade to the all access pass, then you can not only keep all those talks forever, but you can you'll have access to other bonuses. And I did a 20-minute video to be included in the bonuses. So,
ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendy is an amazing person. I'm very excited about the summit. I've got to attend because anytime I can hear her speak, and you just listed off, including yourself, a whole bunch of great speakers. So it sounds like it's going to be quite the summit. Quite the summit. Very exciting. She's also done retreats, is my understanding, but I'll have to ask her about that when she comes on.
Yeah.
So when she comes on, we will address all of these amazing things and so much more. So talk to me about...
for Germany. She's leaving for Germany when I talked to her today. She's always going
oh, my God. She is a world traveler. She is a world traveler. Gets around. But it just, I mean, everything she does just speaks of her spirit. I can't even describe it. You have to attend the summit to understand. She's just one of those people that literally takes your breath away. It's incredible. But I wanted to talk to you about your 4-part article for the upcoming Llewellyn Almanac. What's all that about, my dear?
Well, it was suggested to me that I write an article for the Almanac. And I said, okie dokie, I will. So I wrote the Fiber Magick Wheel of the Year. I went all around, and I had 3 patterns for every 2 Sabbats, and it was like 8,000 words. So they said, well, that's too long for one almanac. We're going to split it into 4 parts. So it's going to be in the 2025, 26, 27, and 28 almanacs. The first part that will be in next year's 2025. I know that's not next year, but that's the next one that will be published because 2024 is already out. Okay, so 2025, it will be Into the Dark, Mabon and Samhain. And it will be the 3 patterns that will be involved is Mabon cornucopia, and these are crochet patterns. The little pumpkin pattern, and a skull, an open skull that you can put a LED light or herbs in to hold sacred space on your altar. So those 3, not only the 3 patterns, but the magic, that can be done. The spell, there's this prosperity spell with the cornucopia and with the pumpkin, and then the skull can be used on your altar, and so that's the first one. And then we go back into the light with and that's 2026. We'll go back into the light with Yule and Imbolc, and then 2027 with the Fae, Ostara, and Beltane, and then 2028, Under the Sun, Litha and Vinasa. And then we'll be back again. So, you know what, when they accepted that, I was like, okay. So they haven't accepted any of my ideas for Fiber Magick 2 yet. They're keeping me relevant. with these articles. So, like, I got 4 years to come up with something really good. I thought I had a really good idea, but I haven't heard back from them for a second book. But hey, you know, I'm busy enough. You just come.
Well, I was going to say, it's not like you haven't been doing anything, and it's not like nothing you've submitted has been accepted. That's pretty awesome. But when did you, like, what's the process? How long does it take from time of submission to whether or not you know it's being accepted?
It can take weeks and weeks. And sometimes you have to remind, hey, I'm still here. Did you read it yet? Because they are so busy. Busy, you know, and they're working on what's coming out right now. Because, you know, even if they accept my idea, it'll be like 2 years till printing, you know? So there's a lot going on there, you know? So you just have to keep plugging away. I actually got encouraged at Mystic South because we had a little authors get-together. They bought us all a drink. And I was listening to other authors talk, and these are like what I consider big names. And they're like, yeah, they didn't like my last idea. They said, go back, try again. I was like, okay, well, if that happens to them, then I'm not going to worry about it. But I have two.
Let me tell you something. You've kind of cornered. You're like our fiber guru as far as, you know, books and all of that go. And there are several authors who also write about, you know, crafting, and the books are all wonderful. But I kind of look to you as the Fiber Magick top shelf, top dog, top queen, top goddess, top, you know what I mean. You're kind of the person everybody like goes, what does Opal say about this? What did she put out this week? Because you're very active. You always have a newsletter, which I'm looking at it. And
thank you.
And I do. As a matter of fact, I get it in multiple places. Don't even ask. But even though I'm not a crafter necessarily, I'm still curious. I love all the new stuff that you come up with, and you know, and you're great about promoting yourself and talking about the things that you're doing and the things you're getting into. You get into a lot of things. So, are you doing a lot of craft fairs in addition to Mystic South? What else have you been up to?
Well, there is a metaphysical shop near me that has a monthly midnight margaritas. The craft show goes from 9 p.m. to 3 o'clock in the morning, and they serve margaritas, and I like doing that one. So I could.
Where is that?
It's in Coral Springs. Coral Springs, Corellia Gifts and Goods. You just Google them on Facebook. They're on Instagram. I'm always promoting it when I'm going to be there, and they do all kinds of different events. And I think that they're doing so well. They're moving into a double storefront. Can you imagine in this day and age being a metaphysical shop being able to double their square footage? Wow. You know, so when they do, I believe there'll be room for me to give Fiber Magick crochet classes there. It's just 10 minutes from my house. It's fantastic. So I do that. Yeah, and I also I'm involved through the Grove, my pagan church. I'm in charge of the Green Man Alliance. We do different environmental things. We plarn. We make the sleeping mats out of plastic bags, and we help with the community garden. And so there's a monthly farmers market type of a thing that goes on in that community, Lazula pop-up market. They go up in different places. So I try to do that every month.
Wow,
and
you are busy.
I am heading up the decorating committee for Turning the Tides in February. Turning the Tides is a festival that happens in Miami at Grinnell's Park in Miami, and it's a 3-day affair. And my team will be doing the decorations, and the theme this coming year is crafting your craft. How could that be so? That's like so perfect for me. And I'm going to be in charge of bead crafting on Sunday morning. On Sunday morning, I'm going to set up stations and we'll get crafters so that you can walk around the Great Hall and just try for a few minutes, try your hand at different people's crafts. And we're definitely going to talk about how they can be incorporated in your magical practice. I think that's the difference with Fiber Magick. We're not just making magical items, or making, altar things. We're actually using it in our magical practice. I think that's what sets Fiber Magick apart. So that's going to be
and this idea of, letting people try their hand at different things, that is so cool. What a brilliant idea. Boy, I would love to see that somewhere locally to me. I would love that a lot. That would be awesome.
Well, I'll come stay at your house and I'll put something on in your neighborhood. How about that?
Hey.
He's like, wait a minute.
We can talk about that. No, that would be pretty cool. We need to talk about that for next spring. I think that would be so cool. And it's not something I've seen done here. And on top of that, they're supposed to be breaking ground on an art center not far from my house. Yeah, so, when that comes up, that would be like the perfect place for you to come and do stuff. I've got to find out the particulars on it, though. But, because I think that's a great idea. Give people a shot at a few different things and see if they resonate, see how you resonate with something. You may find your crafting future. And it's a great way to express yourself. It's a great way to do, like you do, community service. It's meditative. I mean, it's all the things that a lot of us who have a day job still, in corporate America,
it's good for you.
Need
yeah,
something.
It's good for you to unwind with something like that, And if you can help along the way, like we got 2 new people showing up for Plarning this Sunday. It's the first Sunday of every month at my house. People will give us those plastic the grocery bags, that you get at the grocery store, Target or whatever, and we cut them up and we hook them together. The particulars are in the book, in the Fiber Magick book. There's it's how to do it and how to crochet the mat. So we got 2 new people showing up on Sunday, and they both crochet. One does crochet, and one wants to crochet. I was like, oh yeah, that's good.
My
it takes
gosh,
like
that must
700 bags to make a mat, so it's a lot of work. But there's a waiting list at the Broward Outreach for them, because it really helps people out that find themselves sleeping on the ground right now. It's wet, especially here in South Florida right now. It's super wet, and when your blanket gets wet, it stays wet.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, before we went on the air, I'm from up north, and, there's so much flooding right now in New York that they have travel advisories. It's like the subways are even flooding. That's how crazy it is weather-wise. And, yeah, climate change is real, just throwing that out there, too, for folks who don't tend to believe in science, but okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of crazy stuff happening out there. And these activist crafting things can be so beneficial for people in need. I mean, the homeless situation in New York, they can hide it all they want to try, but all over our country it's a situation. Everywhere.
It really is. Yep,
so,
and if you can just do a little something.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which you
and
are,
vote.
which is amazing.
And vote.
And vote. Talk about
and
voting,
vote.
please. They're tired of hearing me. You tell them. Let them hear it from you about the importance of voting. Go ahead.
You must vote, because you can't, if you don't vote, don't complain, okay? Because that's really the only way that we can show a voice, that we have a voice in this country, that these people are, politicians are in it for the money, right? So if they see that they're not popular, they might throw us a bone. And that, I hate to be doom and gloom about it. I'm usually, Pollyanna, but when it comes to politics, do what you can locally. Do what you can locally, and vote. Not just for every 4 years. Vote every single election, because it will be your school crossing guard that'll make a difference. Your school board and everything. Please get involved. Don't say what difference does it make.
Yeah, it does make a difference, and I'm glad you said that about local, because as I keep telling everybody, this is how democracy gets infiltrated on the ground level, and that's why you suddenly wake up one day and it looks like only Republicans are in your district, and that's because they came in quietly through the small positions, the positions that nobody pays attention to, and they're playing the long game. They are playing the long game. How they get name recognition? Slowly.
Yep, and they grease palms all the way up, and next thing you know, they came out of nowhere. Not really, no.
No. It's important. Thank you for saying that. I like to encourage my fellow people who believe in democracy to continue to spread the word of democracy, because it looks like Trump's going to be the nominee again, and it's not going to matter how many times he's indicted, how many people he's assaulted. They just don't care, and I don't get it.
It's bizarre. It really is.
We're living in bizarre world.
But way back when, like a young person said to me recently, well, all these people are so old, they'll eventually die off, and things will get better. And I'm like, yes, of course, good, because I'm not going to, give up hope. But I, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I said the same thing about Richard Nixon. And it just seems like there's a new generation of assholes every time we turn around, But that's the fight, That's the give and take. That's the tension that keeps things moving. And so you can't ever give up. Once you give up, you've failed. You have not failed until you give up. So just keep pushing back. As soon as they push, keep pushing back, and stay in that, somewhere in that middle ground.
I love that. I'm going to use that. you don't fail until you give up. Once you give up, you fail. That's when you fail. Wow.
That's
brilliant. I have not heard that before put quite that way. I love it. I'm going to use it. Opal Luna TM. Just saying. Trademark that puppy right there. I mean,
trade that mark. Oh, well, the Fiber Magick is my trademark. And the little ball of yarn that goes up into the pentagram, I trademarked that too. My mother-in-law drew that.
Ooh,
so
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I love it. It is
you
so
see
true. You really have turned into a businesswoman. You are not kidding.
It's crazy, right? Who knew?
I was teasing her before we went on the air. She's like, no, I'm a real businesswoman now. I'm like, God damn right you are. Shit.
Absolutely. I mean, this hippie has grown up, I guess. I don't know what happened to me, but pretty cool. I like it.
I'll get there eventually. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with being about business, spirituality, the resistance. You can do all of these things simultaneously. You're obviously doing really well at it, so that's exciting. So I'm here for it. I think it's amazing. And the summit is going to be, tell people when the summit's going to be again.
November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But you can get your place now. I go to fibermagick.com, and right on the first page, I got the link so that you can sign up, and you can see all of the talks all weekend. And if you go for the next tier up, you can keep it forever. And I mean it's a bargain. It's totally a bargain because everything Wendy does is perfection, and you will see. You just go and look at what all of that's offered for not a lot of money. I like I said, I'm following her example. I'm going to be her little apostle or whatever you call it. Because,
disciple, apostle.
Disciple. Disciple. That's awesome. The word. A disciple, because, disciple. Make it affordable and so more people can join you. That's my thing.
Absolutely. And the more people join, the more people will want to join up for the next thing and the next thing, and they'll tell their friends about it, and then you have a community. This is how we build community. It's
and there's
cool.
There's a richness. There's a richness when you get so many like-minded people together. I mean, it's like voting. It's spiritual voting. When we all get together and send our energies in the same direction, we are casting a spiritual vote for peace and goodwill.
That speaks to my hippie heart. You know that, right? Oh, my God.
Me too.
If we can all just be one, and there are times when we can do it successfully. Listen, I mean, this is the thing. I've seen public ritual. I've been part of public ritual, and I've learned that maybe it's not for me for certain reasons. But when we can all focus on something together and have a complete goal, like what you're doing with the planning, that's really important. And it's it's taking care of people, it's taking care of the planet, it's making use out of basically plastic bags, which places are, it's not, they haven't been banned everywhere yet, but I know that there are states that are looking into banning them.
And that's okay. I was asked what I was going to do when there was no more plastic bags. I said, I'm going to do a little dance, and I'm going to say thank you very much, and I'm going to find something else to recycle.
Absolutely.
The job is not going to be finished in my lifetime. That's why I'm teaching other people, younger than me, carry on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great goal. It's a huge ambition to stop single-use plastics, but it can be done. I mean, we can eliminate stuff, pull the resources to use something else. I mean, I have, the grocery bags that the grocery stores sell. That's what I use. So it's, my shopping stuff is reusable, so I don't have to deal. As a matter of fact, got to be honest with you, it's kind of easier to use the reusable freezer bags because, A, you can fit more in them, and you don't have those, you know how you have to tie plastic bags together in knots just to keep them closed? Hate that. That was always one of my pet peeves. Now I don't have to deal with it. Now we load up 3 big old bags and we lug them on inside. There you go. All done.
Right. You got the frozen, sorted, and it's easier to put it away. It doesn't start melting. It's good all the way around.
Yeah.
No,
it really is.
I endorse that. I really do endorse that. Don't get plastic bags just for my planning because there's plenty. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to run out soon enough. There's plenty. And, there's another way to vote. Vote with your dollars. Buy the product that's in the recyclable container, that's in the cardboard or whatever, and, show people who make these things that that's what they're going to have to do to sell their product.
Yeah, that's also very true, and I'm very big on voting with my dollars. Here in the South, Chick-fil-A is a really big thing, and I am hugely anti-Chick-fil-A because of their political practices and I'm sorry when you make a statement too little, too late after the fact. Your intentions are what they are, and I'm not real forgiving when it comes to stuff like that. So, but that's me. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm just like a hardcore about some things. Probably not enough things, to be honest with you. But
I know.
When a company, I mean, if I didn't need gas. If I didn't need to put gas in my car, I wouldn't. I can't afford an electric car. One day, don't know.
Yeah, people come down because then we got to get rid of that petroleum eventually. So it's going to happen eventually. But
it's going to go away.
That company Chick-fil-A is easy for me. I think I was there once and I wasn't really crazy about it. So, but there's a craft store that has the most delicious yarn. Now that is a sacrifice for me. A certain craft store that we won't shop at.
Is it the one that starts with an H and ends with a B?
Yes.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. I hear you.
A Hobby Lobby it's beautiful yarn, but it's not worth it. Joann's. I'm an advocate of Joann's. I sent an email and said, why don't you carry my book? Because you've got tarot cards and you've got witchy books in the pattern area, and I connected Llewellyn and Joann's together, but I guess they couldn't. They have contracts with distributors or something like that. But I will promote Joann's because they promote me, They look like me.
Sure.
And that's it. They accept me for me. So Joann Fabric. And they have beautiful yarn too. Their store brand is great, and they have sales online, and it's delivered right to your door.
That's awesome.
So I would definitely.
Wow, I have pretty much talked your ear off for almost an entire hour now.
That was easy. You asked me, could we have enough for half an hour or an hour? I said, I don't know. Let's just keep talking.
Let's keep talking.
I think you and I can keep talking forever.
I know. I know I could, for sure.
To recap, go to fibermagick.com, sign up for my Fiber Magick Academy, sign up for my Ancestral Summit, and then what's the other thing? Oh, buy the Llewellyn Almanac, and look for me at a craft store near you.
That's awesome. And tell Llewellyn that you want to see Fiber Magick too.
Yeah, I do. I want to see Fiber Magick too.
Drop a line.
It'll happen. You know what I told Heather? I'm going to write these books. I got 2 books. Fiber Magick, the Oracle, and Fiber Magick Recycled. I am going to write those 2 books. And Llewellyn can tell me when they're ready to publish them. Because I keep myself busy anyway.
You do. Wow. You got things in the hopper ready to go. Balls are in the cannon. She ready. She ready.
I'm retired now. I'm a full-time fireman magician.
This is not the same girl I talked to a year ago. I'm just saying. You're a machine. I love it. No, really. But you've definitely changed. You've definitely grown. Your popularity has certainly increased. I'm impressed. I'm not doing enough with my life. I better get on the stick right away. So in doing that, I'm going to say, Opal Luna, you're wonderful. Thank you so much again for coming to hang out with me. Everybody, check out Fiber Magick with a K at the end.com. You're going to come back on and hang out with me in the new year, right?
Absolutely. Anytime you want me to.
Right on. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for today. I will see you next week. It'll be October already, if you can believe that shit.
Whoa. But it's our birthday. It's our birthday month. Yay.
I know. I don't mind my birthday. I just can't believe how fast this year has gone. It has been insane.
True.
And don't forget, election season is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Nicks is on tour again. I don't know what's happening. And the Rolling Stones are dropping their new album on my birthday. And my concert goal, first album in 18 years. I'm like, I am definitely not doing enough with my life. Mick Jagger's 80-year-old ass is cutting new music. And the Stones are going back on tour. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. And I've seen the Stones so many times, I should actually own part of their music company, but I don't. But our goal for next year is to go see them in concert again, like the 99th.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, my friends, I will talk to you soon, and everybody have the most wonderful weekend. Take care, y'all.
Yes.
Stay
Thank you so much.
Get your shots. All right.
Stay crafty, everybody.
Stay crafty. That's right. Stay crafty. Bye-bye.